Welcome to another edition of the Coach Alexander Show. I'm Kim Assad, Mustang mom, and your local real estate broker with Compass Real Estate. Enjoy the show. Go Mustangs!
Hello Mustang Nation, Matt Carnes, Grapevine Booster here for week 5 of the Coach Mike Alexander Show, Team 100 season. Coach, we're coming off of a tough one this week, but the boys fought all the way through. Tell us the first thoughts you have for Friday night, and then we'll get into the freshman and JV first.
Yeah, I think just first reaction is just I think we had a night of growth. I think we had a night where we got better as a football team. I believe that Birdville's a very good football team, and I think we finally have most of our pieces in the right place, and the puzzle's kind of put together, and it's taken us a little while to get there, longer than we probably thought at the beginning of the year, but I think from this point forward, I think we're going to see a lot better football team in 3 weeks than we showed even last week, and I don't know. I'm encouraged. Maybe I'm crazy, but I think we're going to have a great second half of the football season.
Well, you're 3-2, 1-1 in district, and like you said last week, it's not going to be a complete definition of the season.
Right.
Win or lose. Right. It's one that everybody wanted to win, obviously, but it's not going to make or break the season for you.
No, I tell you what it did. It helped us learn how to prepare. We were prepared for that game. I think emotionally, mentally, we were prepared. Some things didn't go our way, and they made a few more plays than we did. But our guys, they didn't stop fighting, and where we're really young in some positions, we saw some really good things at times, and then at other times it was one of those things. Well, chalk it up to a sophomore mistake, and I think that those sophomore mistakes, the second half of the season, are going to start going down and down and down, and I feel like here in a couple 3 weeks we're going to be a pretty good football team.
Well, before we get into the highlights, let's talk about the sub-varsities here, because the JV won both, and the freshmen split. Tell us about the freshman JV this week.
Yeah, the freshmen went over to Birdville. Freshman blue had a big night and won. Freshman red, man, they had some snap issues, and kind of like the JV red did the week before.
It happens.
And Birdville did have a good group of freshmen, but it was just a lot of times, we were snapping the ball over the quarterback's head on first down, and now it's 2nd and 20. And that's tough when you're always behind the chains like that, and that's how they had to play. They battled back and did really well the second half. I think pitched a shutout in the second half. Lost 16-6, but real encouraged still with the freshmen. The JV was, super exciting. The JV Red got to play Lake Highlands, which is a 6A program, and started out kind of slow, got down early, and then poured it on and won big by the end of the game. And then the JV Red, man, they had a back and forth one. It was a good JV football game, and we ended up coming out on top. So we're really excited about our sub-varsities playing well, and the future's bright.
Well, it was. I got to the JV blue game a little bit late, and thought we had scoreboard issues at 14-0.
Yeah. With
only, it seemed like a couple of minutes gone in that game.
Right.
And but it was 45 unanswered points from there for the Blues.
Yeah. They I think they were shocked a little bit by the size and speed that Lake Highlands had, but once our kids settled in and just started executing, they realized we can play with these guys, and they did. Like you said, 45 unanswered, and took a knee at the end to close it out.
Well, it was a good night for them. So then we go to Friday. We start off with bringing back another one of our own for Breakfast of Champions. Jay Barnett came in and gave a great lesson about how to handle fear and embrace it, run away from it, or do nothing. Yeah. And I thought that was interesting because it ties right into your whole no fear theme for the year.
It was interesting. I asked him while Coach Booth was running his highlight video after Jay got through talking. I kind of whispered in his ear. I said, "Hey, did you research us? Did you know that our tagline this year is no fear?" And he was like, "No, I didn't know anything about that." So that was a neat, and just to see how all those pieces kind of came together. But no, it was a blessing getting to have Jay back in the house, And anytime we get to have our own back, and that's 2 weeks in a row, you know, with Richard Bartell and then now Jay Barnett, both back-to-back weeks. So it's exciting.
It is really exciting. It's fun for these guys to get to come back and talk about the lessons they learned in that same locker room and how they're still using them to this day in their adult life. So I think that's what's so great about Breakfast of Champions. Move forward through the day, then we head on down the road to the Birdville Fine Arts and Athletic Center, and it was a quiet first quarter.
Quiet.
Nothing.
A lot of punting. Yeah.
Coaches hate punts, I know,
Yeah.
unless you're getting it.
Yeah.
But then the second quarter, the fireworks.
Yeah.
It opened up. It was 21-14 at half after being 0-0 after the first quarter. So
Right.
talk us through the game, and then we'll start looking at some highlights.
You know, they were explosive. We did a good job early, I think. I think they had a few miscues early that probably helped. But, you know, so did we. And then, like you said, you know, we got into in the first quarter, and it was just kind of a stalemate. And I think both coaches were kind of feeling the other coach out, and nobody wanted to be real risky in the first quarter, and you know, all that kind of went out the window pretty quick, and as soon as the second quarter got started. But no, it was good. So let's go ahead and take a peek at it. So start off with just I put these highlights together just in the order of the game. So there's going to be some defensive highlights, some special teams highlights, and some kicking game highlights. But yeah, start out on defense. This is our first big third down, and incomplete pass, but great breakup by Scrap. You know, I don't know if everybody paid attention or noticed, but we moved him back into the middle, into middle linebacker, and put him in the box, and he went right back to doing what he normally does, which is make plays. Excuse me, get to the next clip here. All right, we didn't do anything with the ball when we got it back, and so had to punt to them, and we get a short stop on a second and short right here that forced them into another third down, which we end up winning. This is a big play by Sam Assad. Sam's playing with a lot of confidence right now. You can see him at his corner position, breaking on a little slant route, and so that's a good job starting the game off for the defense to go 3 and out 2 times in a row. Bad news was the offense went 3 and out as well to start the game. Third series, they start getting a little bit more risky, and they take a shot on Jack Turner here. But Jack does a great job getting his hand in at the last minute, even though he was beat by a step, and knocks that ball out and you know, saves a touchdown catch right there. Birdville eventually goes in to score later on that drive. Then they kick off, and I just want to pause it here and just let everybody know that super proud of our special teams. You know, we won. We stat everything. We have successful and unsuccessful attempts throughout all the different phases of the game. Special teams won every phase, so that is one area where we did a good job and we did win. Elliot Hansen fielding the ball in the kickoff right here. Anytime you can start the ball at midfield, it's an important thing. A couple plays later, we run quarterback power. Somehow, quarterback finds his way out of that mess. Gets all the way down to the 3 or 4 yard line. I'll show everybody the kind of the wad of people that ended up happening here, because I know my wife, as well as many others, probably wondered how in the world did that happen to get through there. And then a couple plays later, we punch it on in. Great job, the offense answering the bell. So it was 7-0. We answer 7-7. It's good to see Braxton Russell back in action, kicking our PATs. We did leave him off of the kickoff cover team, though, this week. Not sure when we'll see him back doing kickoffs. Big night for Elijah right here on the kickoff return. Once again, everybody doing their job, and it was great to see Elijah running with speed out in the open field. These are things that we keep, wanting to get him more involved in the offense, because we know he can be explosive like this. Offense takes advantage of the good field position. Goes down. It's now 14-7 at this point, And Coach Smith and the staff make a good call right here to a little slot fade to Jacob Edwards and one-on-one coverage. And once again, offense answers, 14-14. Kickoffs were huge. Solo McKenzie filling in for Braxton Russell did a great job. And something I was just going to, point out to everybody. We've been doing a lot of different things in the kicking game, spreading the ball around, kicking it short, both sides of the field, kicking it deep. And the byproduct of this is, you can see Birdville here has 9 people basically within 25 yards of the ball, which allows us to do some things like kick it over the deep guys' heads, and helps us out in coverage game too. So there's a method to why we're doing what we're doing in the kicking game, and it's starting to pay dividends. But like I said, Solo doing a great job kicking the ball out of the end zone right there. Once again, these are the plays that Scrap makes, routinely in space, and like it's great to have him back in the middle. We're excited about that. This is the kickoff to start the second half. So we go in, like you said, down 21-14. And so we come back out, we got to kick off to them. And, man, everything started off great. Solo does a great job of pooching the ball here into a void that they've created because of all the onside that we've been doing. And we get down the field and make a play and tackle them at the 15. And, you're thinking, man, this is great. Couldn't have started any better. Bad news was we failed on some third downs along the way. Matt, I'd say that's probably that was our Achilles heel defensively the other night. It was third downs, and they were able to go down and convert. Now we're down 28-14, and just threw that clip in there again of Elliott just making a good play on the kickoff return to save us from having to go back out on defense. But now we got our back against the wall and we got to start throwing it. And the game plan to run the football is kind of out the window. So had to start throwing it a little bit. Didn't have success with it real early. Fortunately, we do get a great punt here by Austin, pinning them inside the 5. And that's the byproduct of us being able to run offensive plays out of our punt formation here, like we do at times. Prohibits people from getting 2 guys back to return the kick. Defense goes out, does their job. In the fourth quarter, we got to go out and get a stop. Scrap gets another tackle for loss. Get the ball back to the offense. Get over here. And now, this is the point right here where it's 31-14, and we got to go find a way to score quick. Quick strike to Ben Gare. Austin comes right back to him the very next play. Similar result. Now it's a touchdown. Now where we want to be, 31-21. All right. This was coming down the stretch. Austin hitting Ben Gare. It looked reminiscent of the Azle game, when we were needing to make a big play to get down the field. And Ben Gare coming up big first down right there. It's good to see Garrett Wright get involved here. Garrett's been our number 2 tight end most of the year, and he came up big with a nice catch right there. And Matt, it didn't end like we wanted it to, but like I said, I think we saw some really good things at times against a very good football team, and where we're really young is where we probably saw the most improvement, and I think we're going to continue to see that moving forward. So we're excited. Our coaching staff enjoys going to work and coaching our guys every day. Our teammates, our teams our team members are good teammates. They love each other. So our culture's strong, and we're going to weather this one-loss storm, and we're going to go back to work, and we're excited to get to play Denton High this week.
Well, before we talk about Denton, let's talk about a couple of things. We'll talk about the DNA traits because one of them ties into that. One of the highlights that we didn't get to catch in there was the reason that the defense always needs to keep their chase on.
Yeah.
As Sam Assad made a great play right at about the 4-yard line, which saved a touchdown.
That was a huge play by Sam. Sam's always been kid that's he doesn't have quit in him. You know, he's a fighter, and he's been injured, and he's come back and worked hard to get back. And Sam's playing with a lot of confidence right now, and you know, it didn't shock me that he ran that kid down. I was happy that he caused the fumble. I wasn't anticipating that, but no, we're really happy to have Sam back in the lineup.
Well, before we go to Denton, let's talk about the DNA traits and the DNA award that you give out each week. Let's talk about the kids who got that and why they got it.
Yeah, sure. So our attitude award went to Jack Rollins. Jack, you know, plays nose guard, and but we really noticed Jack's first year starter too. You know, Jack was a JV guy last year, or excuse me, he was on the varsity, but didn't get to play a whole lot, and so this is his first year to get out there and mix it up, you know, as a starter, and what we saw from Jack the other night on the sideline especially was an attitude of, you know what, we're here to fight. And, you know, he was bringing his guys, he was getting the guys up on the sideline, he was encouraging them, and then he was going out and playing well. So we definitely wanted to reward him with that. And then our Compete Award went to another defensive lineman, Hayden Stringer. And Hayden played offensive line for us last year, now he's playing defensive line. And, he had a tall task. Their offensive line was really good, and he got in there and mixed it up, and he played interior, he played inside the line, he played defensive end, he played a little bit everywhere. So he just got in there and competed his tail off and made a bunch of plays for us. Our Tough Award went to Scrap, coming back off an injury. That's no big shock. Everybody knows Scrap's tough.
Scrap is tough.
Yeah, but we definitely, coming back off an injury like that, and just a lot of people could have said, man, I'll see you at Heritage, after an injury like he had. But he wasn't going to go another week, and just because he loves football and he loves his brothers. So we gave him the Tough Award. Family went to Sam Assad for the play.
As it should.
He could have backside. It wasn't his fault that it happened. Could have easily said, dang guys, why can't you tackle him or whatever? That whatever those kids that don't compete hard say in their brain. I don't know what it is, but I know Sam doesn't have any of that, and he just gave of himself and ran across the field with everything that he had, and so Sam got our family award. And then discipline went to Ben Gare. Ben does a lot of things right a lot of the time. He is disciplined. He's one of our most disciplined football players, and he's just consistent. And so we definitely wanted to award Ben with the discipline award this week. And then lastly, our fight goes to Chad and Goey. Chad's always been dominant when he can get his hands on people. He took steps this week to show us that even when the tougher blocks were need to be made, and he had to move his feet a lot to get to a guy, that he was giving of himself and he was fighting through it. So we definitely real proud of the game that Chad had as well.
Well, good. Well, congratulations to each one of them. Now we move forward. We got Denton coming in Friday night. They're in a very similar situation. You're 3-2, they're 2-3, but you're each 1-1 in district. Tell us about Denton and what we're looking for Friday night at Mustang Panther Stadium.
Man, Denton's one of those games where they have all the ingredients to be a playoff team, and they know this. We know this. This is one of the this is a must-win game for us. I said last week that game wasn't going to matter whether or not this one matters. It's because it's the next one. But the closer you get to the end, they all start to matter. Well, this one matters, and it's important that we start off strong. It's important that we don't take our foot off the gas. It's important that we tackle well. We have a very good game plan. Our defense staff did a fantastic job. Our offense staff has done a fantastic job on coming up with a game plan that suits our kids, that's going to be something that is going to give us an opportunity to be really successful. And I'm excited to get out there and do it, Matt.
Well, it'll be here before you know it. In the meantime, of course, men, don't forget Breakfast of Champions, 7 o'clock Friday morning. We will see you there. And then Friday night, Mustang Panther Stadium, 7 o'clock. Be there. Let's support our Mustangs. And we look forward to seeing you there. Thanks to everybody who's been a part of helping make this one happen. Special thanks to Coach Boosh for stepping in and getting us filmed this week. Special thanks to Fred for 4 years of a great job, and we will see you next week.
Thanks for watching the Coach Alexander Show. For all your real estate needs, you can visit me at compass.com. Go Mustangs!